Hola, amigos, buenos dias, buenos dias. Again, I apologize for the kind of crazy angle, but battery's running low. Got to make sure we're plugged in. Anyway, gracias por favor. This video is going to reflect section 3 of chapter 7. Remember, we went a little bit out of order. I told you we'd get back. So if you want to follow along in your books, estamos en la página 208. En la página 208, 208. This is section 3 of chapter 7. Let me remind you of something you already know. Today's lecture is going to be very, very easy. You've actually done it before. We're just going to modify it a touch. We talked, last semester we talked about time expressions with the verb hacer. You remember the verb hacer? To make or to do. Right? Let's conjugate the verb hacer. Yo hago. Tú haces. This is present tense. Tú haces. Él, ella, usted hace. Nosotros hacemos. Ellos, ellas, ustedes hacen. So again, for a review. Yo hago, I make or I do. Tú haces, you make or you do. Él, ella, usted hace. He, she, or formal usted makes or does. Nosotros hacemos, we make or we do. Ellos, ellas, ustedes hacen. They make or you all make or do, whatever. Okay, now, when we talk about time, am I time? Oh, sorry. Let me use the arrow. Am I time? No, I am not time. I wish I were time. You know how powerful my life would be if I could control time. Anyway, I'm not time. How about you? Are you time? No. Are we time? No. Are they time? No. And even he and she is not time, but remember, third person is he, she, it. Time is an it. Time is not me, time is not you, time is not us, time is not them, time is not even him nor her, but time is an it. So when we talk about expressing time, we're using the third person singular hace. It makes. Time is something that's made. It, meaning time, okay? And if you remember last semester, we learned a formula. And I'm going to write it on the board. It was that third person singular conjugation of the verb hacer, hace, plus to that we added a length of time. Length of time. This should be looking familiar to you. Length of time. To that we added que, and then to that we added our verb, but conjugated in the present tense. Present tense. Okay, is this looking familiar? Hace, third person singular of the verb hacer, hace, plus a length of time, plus que, plus our verb conjugated in the present tense. And all of this communicated this idea of since. Like, it's been 3 years since I studied Spanish. Or it's been 2 weeks since I have eaten a hamburger. Or it's been, it makes however much time, 6 months, since I had gone to the beach, whatever. Anyway, this was the formula that we learned that communicated this idea of sense, okay? Well, we're going to use this same formula, only we're going to change it up a little bit. Instead of our verb being conjugated in the present tense, we're now going to conjugate our verb in the preterite tense, the past tense. Remember the dot? I'm going to put a dot right there. Remember the preterite past describes events that are over, done with, never going to happen again, like a dot on a timeline. Now we're going to conjugate the verb in the preterite tense, and it is no longer going to communicate this idea of since, but rather communicate this idea of ago. How long ago you did something. I went, preterite tense, past tense, I went to the beach 6 months ago. Or it makes 6 months that I went to the beach. Or I ate at a restaurant 3 weeks ago. It makes 3 weeks that I ate at a restaurant. Or we went to the movies a year ago, right? It seems like. It makes 1 year that I went to the movies, you see? So simply by conjugating our verb in now the preterite tense, we're communicating this idea of ago. How long ago something was done. How long ago that dot appeared on your timeline, if that helps you remember. Okay? So this is the formula. Same formula, well, similar formula to what you learned last semester. Only now we're talking about this idea of ago. How long ago something was done, verb conjugated in the preterite tense. Okay? All right, I'm going to leave this up. I'm going to rewrite our formula. What was that formula again? We had the third person singular conjugation of the verb hacer, plus here we had a length of time, okay? Let's just make a list of some lengths of time. How about un día, a day, one day. How about 3 semanas, 3 weeks, right? Other lengths of time. 2 años, 2 years, 2 years. How about 8 meses, 8 months. That's a good length of time. 2 more. We've got room for 2 more. How about 30 minutos? 30 minutos. 30 minutos. 30 minutes. 30 minutes, right? And last but not least, I don't know, how about 15 horas? 15 horas. 15 hours. All right? So here's our formula, the third person singular conjugation of the verb hacer, hace. To that we've got a length of time, or a list of different lengths of time. To that we need to add the 3-letter word que. And then to that we're going to conjugate our verb in the preterite tense. So let's just make a list of verbs here. Let's make a list of verbs. I don't know. How about comer? We'll use the verb comer. How about the verb estudiar? We'll use the verb estudiar. How about the verb trabajar? Trabajar, to work, right? Trabajar, estudiar, to study, comer, to eat, trabajar, to work. How about the verb nadar? Nadar, do you remember that verb, nadar? ¿Cómo se dice nadar en inglés? Nadar. Nadar se dice to swim, right? How about the verb, I don't know, hablar, huh? And how about the verb cocinar? Whoops, I didn't spell that right. Cocinar. Remember that verb, cocinar? Cocinar se dice to cook, right? Cocinar, to cook. Okay? So here's our formula. Do you see our formula? Again, we have our third person singular conjugation of the verb hacer. Okay? To that we have a length of time, or a variety of lengths of time. Then we have our 3-letter word que, and then we have our verbs here. And what we're going to do is we're going to create sentences weaving together the elements of our formula so that you can see this formula, how it works, describing this idea of ago. I'm just going to write it in big red letters. Ago. Okay? Again, we have our third person singular conjugation of the verb hacer. To that we add a length of time. To that we add our 3-letter word que. And to that we add our verb, but the verb conjugated in the preterite tense, the past tense, our dot on our timeline. And all of that communicates this idea of ago. So if I wanted to say something like, let's see, I worked 1 day ago. Meaning a day ago I worked. Or a day ago is the last time I worked. What would that sound like? Let's thread these together. What would that sound like? Hace un día, so 1 day ago, hace un día que yo, what? Que yo, I worked. Conjugate the verb. Que yo trabajé. Literally, it makes 1 day that I worked, meaning I worked 1 day ago. Or a day ago is when I worked. Okay? You see how that works? What if I wanted to say 3 weeks ago, we ate a hamburger. I don't know, 3 weeks ago we ate a hamburger. What is that going to sound like? Hace 3 semanas que nosotros... Actually, that's going to look a little bit messy here in a minute. Let me fix that. Whoops. Dadgummit. Let me fix this just a little bit. Sorry. 3 weeks ago, we ate a hamburger. Hace 3 semanas que nosotros, what? Conjugate the verb. We ate. Nosotros, what? Nosotros comimos. Comimos, remember our conjugative endings and the preterite for AR verbs, ER verbs. Hace 3 semanas que nosotros comimos una hamburguesa. 3 weeks ago, we ate a hamburger. Okay? Huh? What if I wanted to say 2 years ago, we, let's do this in the do form. You. 2 years ago, you swam. You swam in the ocean. 2 years ago, you swam in the ocean. What might that sound like? Let's do this one. Hace 2 años que tú, what? Conjugate the verb nadar in the to form. Nadaste. Nadaste. Hace 2 años que tú nadaste en el mar. 2 years ago, you swam in the ocean. Or literally, it makes 2 years that you swam in the ocean. Huh? How about, let's see, 8 months ago, we studied Spanish. It hasn't quite been 8 months. It's only been a summer, although with this COVID-19, it seems like it's been years since anybody's done anything. Gone to the movies, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, I'm just saying. So 8 months ago, let's keep it in the nosotros, when we studied Spanish. What's that going to sound like? What do you think? Let's use this one right here. Hace 8 meses que nosotros, what? Estudiamos. Hace 8 meses que nosotros estudiamos español. 8 months ago, we studied Spanish, or it makes 8 months that we study Spanish. You see how this is working? We're sticking with our formula, just threading everything together, okay? How about 30 minutes ago, he, let's do this in the third person singular, 30 minutes ago, he spoke. Let's just 30 minutes ago, he spoke. What might that sound like? Hace 30 minutos que él, what? Que él habló. Hace 30 minutos que él habló. 30 minutes ago, he spoke. Or it makes 30 minutes that he spoke. Okay? Muy bien. And last but not least, 15 hours ago, she cooked. She cooked something for us. Okay? 15 hours ago, she cooked. What might that sound like? Hace 15 horas, what? Que ella cocinó. Huh? It makes 15 hours that she cooked, or 15 hours ago she cooked. You see, all we're doing is threading things together. That's all we're doing, okay? So let me just remind you quickly of one thing. Again, here's our formula, okay? We had our third person singular conjugation of the verb hacer. To that, we added our length of time, whatever that was, 3 weeks, 2 days, 5 hours, 15 minutes, whatever. To that, we added the word que. And then to that, we had our verb conjugated in the present tense. Now, I will say this. It's been my experience, for the most part, students can very easily see how we're weaving all this together, but it doesn't take long. For whatever reason, I don't know why, they start to forget the que. Don't forget the que. Literally, look at my arrow. Where's my arrow? It makes however much time, it makes however much time that we did whatever it is we did. It makes however much time that we did whatever it is we did. Think of the word que maybe being the word that takes on the properties of this idea of ago. So, however many days, however many weeks, however many months, however many hours, however many years ago, we did whatever it was we did. So don't forget, clase por favor, I implore you, don't forget the que. That's an important part of this formula. Again, going back, let's clean this up a little bit so it's easier to see. We can get rid of this circle right there. Get rid of that. Once again, here is our formula. Okay, we have our third person singular conjugation of the verb hacer, which is hace, right? To that we add our length of time, weeks, days, months, minutes, hours, whatever. To that we add the word que, and after that we conjugate our verb in the preterite tense. All of that communicates this idea of ago. Okay? Clase, por favor, don't mean to make it any harder than it really is. You're familiar with the formula. We did it last semester. The only difference is we conjugated the verb in the present tense, which communicated this idea of since. Now we're conjugating our verb in the preterite tense, the past tense, communicating this idea of ago. Get some practice, review your notes. I'll be back with another video. Hasta la próxima. Hasta la próxima. Ciao.